Malacanang appeals to government personnel to implement the coronavirus restrictions in accordance with law. Quezon City Task Force Disciplina personnel involved in hitting a fish vendor face suspension and possible charges. The country's health department admits the Philippines may not reach the 8,000 to 10,000 daily target of COVID-19 testing on schedule. District 1 Tondo, Manila City to be placed under hard lockdown this week. The United States of America considers coronavirus testing on some international flights, while California plans to gradually reopen once testing and tracing improve, says Governor Newsom. Birthday tributes flood in for fundraising British war veteran Captain Tom.
Malacanang appeals to government personnel to implement enhanced community quarantine in accordance with the law. Rosalie Cos has the details why.
Following criticisms on the enforcement of the enhanced community quarantine protocols by some barangay and government personnel, Malacanang reminds all about the proper implementation of the ECQ. Presidential spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque appeals to ECQ enforcers to obey the law. He also urges local government units to penalize officials or personnel who abuse their authority. This is in connection with an incident that involves a fish vendor who was hit by several personnel of Task Force Disciplina and Barangay South Triangle in Quezon City for violating the quarantine protocols. Secretary Roque lets the local government unit investigate the incident. He also believes Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte will penalize those who are proven guilty of breaking the law. The palace official also reminds personnel who man quarantine checkpoints to immediately allow the passage of people who need immediate medical attention. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Members of the Quezon City Task Force Disciplina involved in the beating incident faces sanctions for their deed after hitting a fish vendor. Arlene Delgado reports.
The Quezon City Task Force Disciplina personnel involved in an incident wherein a fish vendor was physically hurt last Monday have been placed under preventive suspension. Task Force Action Officer Rani Ludovica apologizes for the incident. He admits that one of their enforcers went too far by beating fish vendor Michael Rubia multiple times. Rubia was accosted by the task force members and Barangay South Triangle public service officers for allegedly violating ECQ protocols such as non-wearing a face mask.
Humihingi rin ako ng paumanhin doon sa naging aksyon ng tao po namin na hindi naman po yun talaga rin ang amin pong laging binibriefing sa mga yan na igalang pa rin ang mga karapatan ng mga taong nasasaway po namin sa karsada.
The city legal department has issued show-cause orders to personnel involved to explain their actions. City Legal Officer Attorney Nino Casimiro says they are looking into filing administrative charges against the involved task force members, including grave misconduct and abuse of authority. In a statement, the QC government says the task force has been ordered to withdraw the complaint against the vendor. Rubio was earlier charged with violation of Article 151 of the Revised Penal Code, or resistance and disobedience to person and authority. It adds Rubio will be admitted to the Quezon City Drug Treatment and Rehabilitation Center in Barangay Payatas after his lawful release from Kamuning Police Station 10. This as the QC task force head revealed that Rubia tested positive for illegal drugs. However, the Kamuning Police cannot confirm this. The city government of Quezon adds it will ensure that Rubia's rights and basic needs while in detention will be properly observed. Arlene Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The health department admits they may not reach their target testing capacity on the date it's set. However, health officials will be working on reaching this goal, which is almost a stone throw away. Aiko Miguel tells us why.
Tomorrow, April 30 is the date set by the Department of Health to reach the 8,000 to 10,000 testing capacity of the Philippines. But according to Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere, the DOH admits it cannot reach the target yet at this point.
Mukhang hindi po tayo aabot dito sa 8,000 for April 30, though sinusubukan ho natin dahil ngayon po dumating na yung cartridges natin for Gene Expert.
Yesterday, the testing capacity of COVID-19 licensed laboratories reached only up to 6,320. Undersecretary Vergere explains RITM's scaling down of operations last week resulted in pending test results of COVID-19 suspect patients. The arrival of the Gene Experts test kits from the USA is seen to help process test results faster in just 45 minutes. The DOH vows to work on achieving the targeted testing capacity in the following days.
But anyway po, ito pong ating goal ay atin pong pilit na aabutin this coming days po as all the resources had been pouring in coming from the private side and coming from the government.
DOH also stated earlier this month that they will target to reach 30,000 tests per day starting May 30. Meanwhile, 1 polymerase chain reaction or PCR test kits from Singapore and 2 rapid antibody test kits from Germany and Beijing, China have been approved by the Food and Drug Administration for commercial use in the country. Currently, there are 57 FDA-approved COVID-19 test kits in the Philippines. 33 are PCR-based test kits and 24 rapid antibody test kits. The FDA reminds the public rapid test kits use and results must be administered, prescribed, and explained by an expert. Health authorities underscore rapid test kits are not a standalone test. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, Baguio City admits it is facing several challenges despite effective contact tracing in a bid to curb the spread of the new coronavirus in the locality. Joanne Nano reports why.
Baguio City is considered one of the model cities in battling COVID-19, but the city government admits mass testing for coronavirus is quite a huge challenge at this point. In the UNTV program, Get It Straight with Danielle Razon today, Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong said one issue the city is facing is a shortage of PCR test kits, which hinders them from conducting mass testing. Mayor Magalong detailed that Baguio received only about 8,100 PCR test kits. This is merely 0.7% of the city's total population.
So napakaliit yung pinagmamalaki natin na mass test, extensive test. Hindi po nangyayari yan. Ako po mismo nagsasabi sa inyo, hindi po nangyayari yan because we were not prepared for that. And we did not prepare for that.
Aside from this is the lack of manpower in laboratories for faster mass testing. For now, the Baguio City government is going out of its way to provide rapid test kits. Meanwhile, the Santo Niño Isolation Center in Baguio City may open next week. The facility has been designated exclusively as a COVID-19 treatment facility. Despite the challenges, Mayor Magalong said the city takes pride of intensive contact tracing and the competency of local health workers who continue to battle the deadly virus. He added, these are just some of the reasons for a high recovery rate of COVID-19 patients in this city.
What we're doing here in the city of Baguio is we have a very effective, a very efficient contact tracing dito. And because of that efficient contact tracing, we were able to immediately conduct early detection ng mga positive patients. And with early detection, na-confine kagad sila.
According to city authorities, Baguio has 16 confirmed coronavirus cases as of today, including 13 recoveries and 1 who had succumbed to the disease. Joanne Nano, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
District 1 in Tondo, Manila will be placed under hard lockdown within the week. This comes days after the hard lockdown in Sampaloc District. Dante Amento tells us why.
The 48-hour hard lockdown in District 1 of Tondo, Manila City will begin this week. This is due to the continuous increase of COVID-19 cases in the area.
1, it's definite. 2, it's going to happen within the week and most likely over the weekend. And plans were submitted to me already by the Manila Police District, with regard to on how to cordon the entire District 1 of Manila.
Manila Mayor Isko Moreno Dumagoso says he will be signing the executive order and make a public announcement on this tomorrow. Some 1,000 personnel from police precincts 1 and 2 will lead the lockdown implementation. COVID-19 rapid mass testing will be done within the community during the 48-hour period.
Hoping that people will cooperate, this will also pave the way to the same thing that we did with Sampaloc, to conduct massive testing to particular individuals or group of individuals in a particular geography.
Meanwhile, Mayor Dumagoso says some other areas in Manila like Malate, Santa Cruz, and San Andres may also be placed under hard lockdown if the virus continues to spread in those areas. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And now let's take a peek at the updated tally of coronavirus cases around the world as of today. The COVID-19 pandemic has reached a total of 3,125,267 confirmed cases in 185 countries and regions. The fast-spreading disease has claimed 217,555 lives, according to reports from affected countries. More than 934,000 patients across the world have recovered from the deadly disease. Meanwhile, the United States of America has surpassed the 1 million mark of coronavirus cases. It's followed by Spain and Italy, both with more than 200,000 confirmed COVID-19 cases. France, the United Kingdom, Germany, and Turkey all have more than 100,000 positive cases. Turkey remains to be the country outside the United States with the highest recorded cases. Russia has almost 100,000 confirmed cases, as Iran trails with 92,584 positives. China, Brazil, and Canada remain in the top 12 countries most hit by the coronavirus pandemic. Meanwhile, the Philippines, as of 4 p.m. today, has 8,212 confirmed COVID-19 cases after the country's health department reported 254 new cases. Death toll in the country has reached 558, and our gallant healthcare workers have helped 48 more patients recover, bringing the total recoveries in the Philippines to 1,023. The Bureau of Corrections records a COVID-19 fatality among persons deprived of liberty. Sherwin Kulubong reports why.
The 72-year-old PDL in the Correctional Institution for Women, or CIW, the first COVID-19 case in the facility, expired in Santa Ana Hospital in Manila City on Monday. She battled the disease caused by the new coronavirus for 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Gabriel Chaclag, the spokesperson of the Bureau of Corrections, confirmed today another person deprived of liberty in the CIW who died last week was also a COVID-19 positive after test results came out last Monday. Another PDL from medium security compound of the New Bilibid prison died in RITM last week.
Noong Monday, kasabay nung pagkamatay nung first patient, dumating din yung test result from East Avenue na sinasabing yung namatay nung 21 ay COVID positive siya. Kaya ang ginawa namin na isinali natin siya sa COVID tally natin.
Chaclag assures the 47 PDLs inside the quarantine facility in New Bilibid Prison are under close monitoring. According to the Bucor official, as of now, the 47 PDLs are all in good condition. Sherwin Kulubong, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
A lot more residents will benefit from Valenzuela City's food voucher system in its second wave. Vincent Arboleda tells us why.
Around 230,000 food packs were given to residents of Valenzuela City on the second wave of the city's food voucher system. This time, not just the poorest of the poor. Poor and near-poor families were given food packs, but also stranded workers and families living inside subdivisions, as these families also suffered from having no to limited work due to the ECQ. Each food pack contains 5 kilos of rice, 5 packs of noodles, 12 canned goods, and half a kilo of sugar. Food were redeemed by residents at their corresponding redemption centers by schedule to make sure that physical distancing is observed. As of April 29, Valenzuela City now has 95 positive COVID-19 cases. The local government is continuing contact tracing to individuals who mingled with those found to be positive of the virus. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Stranded local tourists may soon receive aid from the country's Department of Tourism and head back to their hometowns. Asher Kadapan Jr. explains why.
The Department of Tourism regional offices have listed more than 2,000 qualified stranded local tourists as of April 28 to work on transporting them back to their hometowns or cities. The Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases, or IATF-EID, has authorized the DOT to mount sweeper flights. According to Tourism Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat, a one-time financial assistance will be provided to qualified stranded local tourists, which numbered 2,392. A stranded local tourist may be eligible for such aid if registered with the DOT regional office and if he or she has a confirmed returned land, air, or sea ticket to their home province but had been cancelled due to the implementation of enhanced community quarantine. The Tourism Department will announce the days of the departure schedules of the sweeper flights. Stranded local tourists are encouraged to communicate with the nearest DOT regional office. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
A jeepney driver and his son installed a plastic barrier inside their passenger jeepney, an innovative way to follow the government's physical distancing measures. Mirasol Abugadil details the story why.
A Baguio City jeepney driver has come up with a unique and innovative way to protect himself and passengers from the new coronavirus. This social media post, made by Gideon Amino, shows his father's jeepney installed with a plastic barrier designed to physically separate the driver from others on board the vehicle and the passengers from one another in order to follow the social distancing measures. Through this, they would also know if the jeepney is loaded with 11 passengers already, its maximum capacity amid the ECQ.
Maraming salamat po sa pag-appreciate sa ginawa namin. And kayahin nyo lang po para safe lahat ang mga pasaheros, lalo na sa mga driver natin dyan. Maintain po natin ang social distancing.
The installation took only 2 hours. What's more, there is alcohol at hand upon entry of a passenger. The driver also has alcohol ready for his own use. This is to ensure that everyone disinfects his hand before taking the jeepney trip. But because only half of the jeepney can be occupied, the driver charges double.
Siguro yun lang po ang hiling ko sa panig po ng LTFRB. Yung ngayon kasi very special naman po yung ating sitwasyon ngayon tungkol sa pamasahe. So inihiling ko na huwag naman siguro nila masyadong higpitan yun.
Mirasol Abugadil, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Malacanang lets the Interagency Task Force Against Coronavirus Disease decide on the appeal of the Bacolod City government to extend the enhanced community quarantine in the city until May 15 of 2020. Bacolod is among one of the areas to be placed under general community quarantine come May 1st. However, the Bacolod LGU appeals to the national government to extend the ECQ because, according to them, it would be premature to lift the restrictions on April 30. they reason out that cases of local transmission of the COVID-19 virus are just beginning to emerge. According to Presidential Spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque, this appeal from the Bacolod City officials has reached the office of the President. It will undergo the approval of the IATF. If you are a woman in distress or need to go out of your house to buy your family's necessities, don't be surprised if the police gives you a free ride to your destination. Lea Ilagan tells us why.
The Philippine National Police will give free rides to stranded women, pregnant women, women with kids, and senior citizens if they need to buy essential products. This move comes after President Rodrigo Duterte ordered the PNP to give rides to women in distress. PNP spokesperson Police Brigadier General Bernard Banac says they understand there are women who need to go outdoors to buy their necessities.
Kaugnay ng kautusan ng Pangulo, agad na nagpalabas ng direktiba si PNP Chief Police General RG Francisco Gamboa sa lahat ng ating mga police commanders and field commanders ang pagbibigay ng police assistance sa lahat ng mga senior citizens, mga elderly, lalo na yung mga nagdadalang tao, buntis, at yung mga inaabot na mga sa gabi na mga health workers na nangangailangan ng transport na makauwi sa kanilang tutuluyan.
Banac explains PNP personnel may use their marked vehicles to offer free rides.
At ang mga patrol units natin ay nabigyan na ng guidance para isakatuparan ang direktibang ito. So naka-alerto na lahat upang sinuman na hingi ng tulong at hingi ng transport assistance ay agad na mabigyan ng tulong.
Banac adds 6 PNP trucks continue to render public service by giving free rides to healthcare and other essential workers who need to go to their homes. Lea Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The United Nations Population Fund and the Department of Health reminds couples to observe family planning to avoid unplanned pregnancy. The country's health department says health centers in communities remain open for reproductive services and counseling to couples.
Sa panahon ng COVID-19, maging responsableng magulang. Protektahan natin ang ating pamilya, hindi lamang para sa COVID-19, kung hindi pati na rin sa isang mabuti at malusog na pamilya at sa hindi planadong pagbubuntis.
The national government has given a deadline to local governments to distribute the first tranche of cash assistance under the Social Amelioration Program to household beneficiaries until April 30. But what if your household received cash aid twice? Well, there are honest Filipino citizens who knows the best thing to do in such a case. Monokson reports.
The national government's Social Amelioration Program or SAP includes cash assistance to help low-income families amid the enhanced community quarantine imposed in Luzon and other parts of the country. But what if a beneficiary household received financial aid twice? For Michael Arevalo, a resident of Cabanatuan City, returning the excess money is the noble option. His wife, Jennifer, is now staying with her parents in Nueva Ecija due to the lockdown. Michael explained both he and his wife received 6,500 in their respective barangays. In the UNTV program Serbisyong Bayanihan, Kuya Daniel Razon interviewed Michael regarding his quite unique concern.
Ang problema po ni Michael ngayon ay tama ba Michael, gusto mo isole yung 6.5 na nakuha mo dahil dalawa kayong nakakuha, dapat isa lang sa inyo. Tama ba yon?
The Department of Social Welfare and Development, one of the agencies tasked to distribute SAP benefits, advised Michael to return the money to the barangay so that it can be given to another household in need.
Ako na po magsasoli nung pera. Pagkabi na po ng laman na kung po yung asawa ko nakakuha na po doon.
Binabati po namin kayo.
Mang Michael, sapagkat napaka-honest ninyo at sana ay tularan kayo ng iba pang mga kababayan natin.
Pagpatuloy mo ang pagkakaroon ng magandang kalooban at hindi paghahangad ng hindi para sa iyo. Salamat at pagpalaing kanawa ng Panginoon.
This also happened to another SAP beneficiary in Palawan. According to a post made by Christian Caminade, Johnny Lazaro of Sitio Now of Port Barton in Rojas, Palawan returned the 5,000 peso cash assistance he received from the DSWD. Johnny said he is worried that someone might be needing the money, especially those who have not yet received cash aid. The DSWD thanked the honesty of both Michael and Johnny.
Maging magandang halimbawa rin sa ating mga kababayan, no? At istorya ng malaman nila na mas maganda kung yung hindi natin hangarin yung hindi para sa atin. Kaya sabi ko nga medyo ngayon kasi maraming nagrereklamo na hindi nakakatanggap, samantalang sa gitna ng hirap na ganito, hindi nila sinamantala yung bagay na alam nilang maaaring maidugtong naman sa pangangailangan ng iba.
We salute you, Michael and Johnny, for your good deeds, which are a good example in these trying times. Mon Hokson, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
2,103 aspiring lawyers passed the 2019 bar examination. Senior Associate Justice Estela Perlas Bernabe, the 2019 bar chair, said this is 27.36% of the 7,685 examinees who completed the licensure test last November. The passing rate is higher than the 22.07% back in 2018. The exam results will be posted on the Supreme Court's official website, unlike in previous years when results were posted on a screen at the SC ground. May Dayan Azores of UST Legazpi, formerly Aquinas University, got the highest overall rating among the examinees with 91.04%. Second is Princess Fatima Parahiman of the University of the East. And third is Myra Baranda of UST Legazpi. The High Court and Malacanang congratulate all the bar passers. With lockdown in place, a Spanish-Filipino graphic artist came up with an artwork dedicated to our gallant COVID-19 frontliner. Nina Armilio tells us why.
This is not a playhouse, but rather a wall full of graffiti dedicated to our gallant COVID-19 frontliners. Ken Solano, a Spanish-Filipino graphic artist who resides in Aklan, decided to fill this wall of his house with superheroes known to young and old alike. A tribute to the heroes of the new generation, the frontliners in our battle against an invisible enemy.
The Turtle Ninja, Iron Man, Jedi, Spider-Man, Captain America, Star Wars, Batman.
All superheroes drawing up their superpowers against the coronavirus, he says. This painting was 2 weeks in the making.
So I guess mixing nurses and militaries with superhero is the best way to show how I'm proud of them.
The 40-year-old graphic artist from Barcelona, Spain, said he sees the slogans flashing on his TV screen every day, "Let's fight COVID-19." And due to the lockdown and home quarantine measure implemented by the government, he came up with this wonderful work of art, which is for him an honor to paint a message to the brave frontliners.
And so maybe it's the only way I can show them my respect and to be proud of them.
Nina Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, here's Kath Moraos live from Bangkok, Thailand. Kath, good evening.
Good evening, Diego. U.S. President Donald Trump says they are considering coronavirus testing on some international flights. Meanwhile, schools may gradually reopen in California. Clarence Shaughnessy explains why.
President Donald Trump said on Tuesday he is considering having passengers on international flights from coronavirus hotspots be tested for the virus.
Yeah, we're looking at doing it on the international flights coming out of areas that are heavily infected. As you know, Brazil is getting to that category. I think they're going to be okay.
Earlier this year, passengers from China were screened at U.S. airports. President Trump also pointed out from Washington, D.C., the U.S. is doing much more testing than any other country, hence showing more cases than any nation in the world by far. When asked if U.S. can surpass 5 million COVID-19 tests per day, he answered this.
Oh, well, we're going to be there very soon.
Meanwhile, in California, based on plans laid out by Governor Gavin Newsom in an address on Tuesday, some California workplaces, schools, and childcare facilities can gradually reopen once the state improves coronavirus testing and contact tracing.
Mentioned testing as one of the principal indicators. We've made real progress in that space. Not nearly where we want to go and need to be, but real progress.
Some 578,000 tests have been conducted in the state of California, averaging over 20,000 tests, nearing the state's 25,000 testing goal and getting to 60 to 80,000 very shortly thereafter, Newsom added. His government is considering the prospect of an early school year into the fall as early as late July or early August. Clarence Shaughnessy, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
An official in one of Russia's nuclear sites is worried over the rise in number of COVID-19 cases, not just in the entire country, but also in nuclear cities. Kat Carriedo will tell us why.
The head of Russia's State Atomic Corporation expressed concern on Tuesday about the spread of the new coronavirus to 3 nuclear cities. The cities are closely linked to Russia's atomic industry, which is managed by the ROSATOM Corporation.
The epidemic peak is drifting from Moscow to the regions. This creates a direct threat to our nuclear towns. The situation in Sarov, Elektrosal, Desnogorsk is today particularly alarming. In Sarov, the situation is being compounded by outbreak in the nearest Divyevo convent.
Likachov made his remarks on a day when Russia reported its biggest daily rise in new coronavirus cases. Russia now ranks 8th worldwide. Moscow, which accounts for more than half of Russia's cases, and many other regions of the vast nation have imposed stay-at-home orders to curb the spread of the virus. Last week, ROSATOM said 7 people at Sarov's All-Russian Scientific Research Institute of Experimental Physics had been diagnosed with coronavirus, bringing the total number of cases in the city of around 95,000 to 23. Kat Carriedo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez announced on Tuesday a 4-phase plan to lift the lockdown enforced on the nation to control one of the world's worst outbreaks of the coronavirus. The aim is to return to normality by the end of June. The lifting of the strict measures will begin on May 4th. The officials said it will vary from region to region depending on factors such as how the rate of infection evolves, the number of intensive care beds available locally, and how regions comply with distancing rules, the Spanish Prime Minister said. In other news, Venezuela has a new oil minister, state oil firm chief. This comes amid a struggling oil industry in the oil-producing Latin American country. Crestor Fugaban has to report why.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on Monday appointed a close ally who is accused by the U.S. of drug trafficking to lead the nation's struggling oil industry amid tightening international sanctions, nationwide fuel shortages, and plunging crude production. Tarek El Alsami replaces Manuel Quevedo, a National Guard general who had no industry experience when he took on the dual role of PDVSA president and oil minister in 2017. Maduro also named Asdrubal Chavez, cousin of the late President Hugo Chavez, as interim president of state oil firm PDVSA, according to the appointments published in the government's official gazette. In March, the U.S. Justice Department charged Elaysami and 14 other current and former Venezuelan officials with narco-terrorism, corruption, and drug trafficking. In February, the U.S. Secretary of State approved the offering of up to $10 million for information leading to Elaysami's arrest. Elaysami has denied the charges. Since February, Elaysami has been chairman of Maduro's Commission to Restructure the Oil Industry. Asdrubal Chavez, a former president of U.S. refiner Citgo, was also a member. Venezuela produces more than 2 million barrels of oil per day and ranks within the top 20 oil-producing countries. Correstor Fugaban, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Meanwhile, in Brazil, residents have varying opinions on whether their president must be impeached or decide to step down. Chris Perez has the details why.
Brazilians are split on impeaching their president, Jair Bolsonaro, despite a majority believing accusations by the former justice minister that Bolsonaro tried to interfere with the federal police's work for political gain. This based on a poll conducted on Monday, April 27. Pollster Datafolha found that 48% oppose impeaching Bolsonaro, while 3% less than that, 45% of those surveyed want to see him impeached, a difference within the margin of error of the poll. Sergio Moro, a popular minister because of his record fighting corruption as a federal judge, resigned as justice minister just last Friday, April 24th. Moro accuses the president of attempting to interfere in sensitive police investigations involving family members. But Bolsonaro insisted the accusations are unfounded. According to political analyst Gilberto Braga, President Bolsonaro lost support with Moro's departure as Justice Minister.
De Sérgio Moro, do Ministério da Justiça.
Bolsonaro came out politically weaker from this episode. He didn't foresee that Moro could be a possible candidate, and he thought he would leave without making big speeches. And he still has a process with the risk of impeachment that he has tried to handle.
De impeachment para tentar administrar.
Of the 1,500 people interviewed by Datafolha, 52% said Moro was telling the truth, while only 20% said they believe Bolsonaro's account. The interviewees were also asked about their opinion on whether the president must step down. The number that believe Bolsonaro should resign has risen to 46% from 37% in the previous poll at the beginning of April. Those opposed to his resigning have decreased to 50% from 59%. A main reason for discontent with Bolsonaro has been his handling of the coronavirus epidemic, whose gravity he has downplayed as the death toll rises in Brazil. The poll found 45% consider his handling bad or terrible, against 27% who think he has done a good or excellent job. The poll has a margin of error of 3 percentage points, up or down. Chris Perez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the stories in other parts of the globe. Back to you, Diego.
Thank you, Kath Dumaraos, reporting live from Bangkok, Thailand.
British World War II veteran and Guinness Book of World Record title holder Captain Tom Moore is in for a very special 100th birthday on Thursday. Nina Armilio tells the story why.
Well-wishers from around the world repaid Captain Moore's record-breaking fundraising efforts by sending tens of thousands of birthday cards. Moore has raised more than £29 million or $36 million for the National Health Service by completing laps of his garden with the help of a walking frame. Since completing his 100 laps, breaking both his initial 1,000-pound target and then the Guinness World Record for a charity walk, Moore has received over 125,000 birthday cards.
Captain Tom, I think, has caught the hearts of everybody in this country, and this is what it looks like, really.
The floor of the school hall has been transformed to a sea of goodwill messages, carefully curated by volunteers who have spent hours reading them over the last week. Even as more arrive every day, Hudson said the plan was to display as many as possible and send more a photograph of the results.
Clearly, they all wish him a really great day on Thursday, but also thank you for all that he's done for the NHS and for the country itself to bring everybody together.
Captain Moore turns 100 tomorrow. Nina Emilio, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Our kasangbahay, we are at a time when the country is under a state of health emergency. The cooperation of all Filipinos is imperative to avoid the deadly virus. We are calling on everyone to be calm.
And most importantly, let us join together in prayer for our country and for the whole world to survive this crisis. You may join us in our daily UNTV community prayer at these hours as flashed on your screens. And those are the reasons behind the news. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And I am Angelo Castro III, because we need to know. We will always ask why.